Are you guys ready for an RTS? I do believe we are ready for an RTS to end the evening and be on our merry way. I know the ad just played in the background, but I'm going to take some time just to make sure that I'm all nice and comfortable for this, because we're going to be sitting here for another 30 to 40 minutes as we do another RTS simulation. Speaking of which, I have not been running the bot in the background. My apologies. Stats Plus is now officially running. I think we'll still get the Whistler's Bats box score. But unfortunately, I did not get that. We're going to try to turn this back on again. I'll set it to 30 seconds for the updates because that did not like it the last time. And I'm going to save before we begin the RTS. But let us begin our RTS sim of the evening now that the Whistlers and the the Bats are completed for the day. Owls and the Giants and the Cluckers and the Goats are squaring off for our first couple of ball games here so far. By the way, guys, oh man, the Cluckers just cannot help themselves. They even get two people on, and then they immediately get a double play and a ground out. Eric Kelly and Jackie Wells have singled for the Owls. They now take a 2-0 lead over the Giants. And we'll see how these two ball clubs perform, or sorry, these four ball clubs perform, these two different games as we move along. Mike Schmidt has hit a 2-run homer for the Giants. They now lead, or sorry, they now are tied 2-2 against the Owls. JC Swishman has hit a solo homer for the Cluckers. They take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. We'll have to see if they can keep that lead or not. That's been just nothing has gone right for the Cluckers so far this season. Nothing has gone right, unfortunately. Rebecca Dunbar hit a solo homer, her first of the regular season. That was also Swishman's first home run of the regular season. And I'm on the wrong screen. My apologies. There you guys go. That's what you want to see about there. It's been a rough season for the Cluckers. Crescent Roll hits solo homer, his first of the regular season. Eric Kelly has hit his fourth, and the Owls take a 4-3 lead against the Giants. That's a big offensive game needed for the Owls right about there. They need to start turning that on and getting that offense around. Ikaika Knock has singled home Brown, and the Goats have tied up the ball game against the Cluckers 1-1. Hugh down with OBP has hit a solo homer, his third of the regular season, and that has given the Giants and Owls a 4-4 tie. So both of our ball games now officially back into tie territory as we are into the bottom of the third and bottom of the fourth between these two different scored games. Nothing else happening, though, unfortunately, for the Owls and Giants. They go to the fourth, and the Cluckers and Goats are going to the fifth. We'll see if either of these two teams want to take the lead. And the Owls say, yes, we do. The Owls take a lead on a Germ Thang single scoring in Nancy Quinn, I believe. And the Cluckers are going to take the lead here with Dante Robinson singling home Woodruff and Souffle. It's a 3-1 game in favor of the Cluckers and a 5-4 game in favor of the Owls. Alrighty. We keep going into the 6th and 5th innings for both of our two ball games at this point. They're both doing very well. I like this. Danny Smith hits a 2-run homer. Where's Tim Gross when you need him? Now the team finally shows up. 5-1 is the score. Cluckers are suddenly waking up after starting the season off 1-6. They now have a 7-1 lead over the Goats as they get more. They get a triple from Vic Souffle. Davis and Swishman score. Down with OBP hits his second home run of the ball game, and then Reese Worthington reaches on an error, and the Giants have taken a lead over the Owls 6-5 in the bottom of the fifth. Our other games have started. Rockets and Warlocks, and then the Bears and the Frogs. They have started up their two ball games across the pond, basically. And we are going to be ending the bottom of the sixth for the Goats and Cluckers. Nell Hebert has doubled home a run, and then Bradford Smart hit a 2-run homer. Warlocks lead over the Rockets, which I had their t-shirt on tonight. They take a 3-0 lead over the Rockets here in the bottom of the first. We'll see who else wants to score some runs. Tammy Lee, it's a solo homer for the Warlocks. They now lead, excuse me, they now lead 4-0 against the Rockets. Good grief. There it is. All right. Here's how I'm going to explain it to Tim Gross. You can only fail so much before you run into success, all right? And the Cluckers are doing it tonight. Hopefully, this is the start of something good for the Cluckers. They are now leading 9-1 against the Goats. The pitching is doing well. The hitting is doing well. Danny Smith has hit his second 2-run homer of the evening. He now has 7 home runs on the season. Jerem Thang doubles home Sonia Hagen. The Owls have tied up the ball game against the Giants. Adalbert Crittenden hits a home run for the Frogs and now lead 1-0. How big was that lead? The Rockies blew. Hey, the Rockies are not the Cluckers, okay? The Rockies are not the Cluckers. The Rockies are a special breed all to themselves. There is no comparison, okay? The Rockies, like, that's literally their identity, is how bad can we fail and how weirdly can we succeed. Like, that's what they are, okay? Eric LeBeau triples home Friedman, and the Giants are going to extend that lead on a sacrifice fly from Star Moonbeam, scoring in LeBeau. It's now 8-6 in favor of the Giants. Bottom of the 8th we go, and Fred Rogers is having a fantastic game, although he has given up a run here. Looks like a single for Hannah Peavy has driven home a run, and they have gotten one out after that. Vinny the Gooch has hit solo homer. That's going to be home run number 4 of the regular season for Vinny the Gooch, and the Owls are now down by 1 run in the top of the 7th. Jorge Garcia has hit a solo homer. That is going to be his 3rd home run of the regular season. Hold on. What do you mean it was deleted? Rockies are going to turn this around. Next year, World Series tries to keep a straight face. Wait, why did it automatically not allow that? Wait, it was considered a... Oh, because you did ... world. Oh, my gosh. Unban you, Dukeston. Good grief. That's a little bit too strict there, bot. I know you're trying to get rid of the world's... What was it technically the World Series that it thought was a link? Don't know what the whole entire problem was there. It's all right, Dukeston. I have no idea why the bot thought that was a link. I don't see a link in that anywhere, but I guess the bot did. Suspicious user Dukeston 111 1111. Isn't it usually just 11? Ikai Canuck has hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th, and that has knocked out. Okay, I'll stop. That has knocked out Fred Rogers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's now 9-4 in favor of the Goats. Oh, sorry, in favor of the Cluckers over the Goats. Otherwise, across the league, we're still into the 4th innings, 3rd innings, 8th innings, and 7th innings. Emily Lubell has grounded out, scoring in Babe Ruth. The Cluckers are now only looking at a 4-run lead, so... Did I say stuff too quickly? I sure hope not. The Cluckers still need to actually win ball games by finishing 9 innings, guys. 9 innings. Danny Padilla, Adalbert Crittenden, and Ichiro Suzuki Jr. have scored 3 runs for the Frogs. They now lead 4-0 over the Bears. Danny Smith has hit a solo homer. That's going to be his 3rd of the ball game, 8th of the regular season. Danny Smith have a night. 5 RBIs, 3 for 5 performance. He now has, again, 3 homers in the ball game. It's now 10-5 in favor of the Cluckers. Belladonna Brown has grounded out, scoring in Tammy Lee, and the Warlocks now lead 5-0 over the Rockets over there. Grace Tipton of the Owls and Kaz Cappy of the Queens are the only 2 starting pitchers to not have either a win or a loss so far this year. Wow, that's actually very impressive, Kaz Cappy. Not in a great way, but it's still impressive. Alex Murray singles home Suzuki Jr. The Frogs now lead 5-0. Brandy Houston doubles home Jones. I believe that's Szechuan Jones. 6-0 in favor of the Warlocks over the Rockets now at this point. We're into the bottom of the 9th. The Goats are down to their final strike against Esmeralda Hernandez, and the Cluckers take a dominant 10-5 win over the Goats. That was a much needed victory for the Cluckers. Top of the ninth we go. The Owls and Giants are tied 8-8. It's been a batting masterpiece over there, by the way. We'll have to see if they can keep it going with other stuff. Ernie Banks reaches on an air, scoring insult to Machiavelli, and the Bears now have their first run of the ball game. And wow, Lefty Cheese is having a great outing over there against the Rockets. 10 strikeouts through 5 innings of work. Bottom of the ninth, and the Giants get a walk-off home run from Janice Lowry. Wow. Owls are defeated by the Giants. 9-8 is the final score. Reapers and Kings are starting up their ball game now officially. Reapers already having a lead on a George Brett sacrifice fly scoring in Con. They now lead 1-0. And the Frogs have regained their 5-run lead on an Adalbert Crittenden double scoring in Espinoza. Lefty Cheese having himself a day too. Exactly. Yeah. Lefty Cheese having a fantastic day. Lefty Cheese having a fantastic day. 13 strikeouts through 6 innings for Lefty Cheese. He's going to be competing with Danny Smith for Player of the Week, basically. Pete Wheeler has hit a solo homer for the Admirals. They now lead 1-0 over the Pioneers. We go to the bottom of the 6th for the Warlocks and Rockets and the Frogs and the Bears, both of them, into the bottom of the 6th innings. And Hughes on first has singled home Alex Murray. That gives the Frogs a 7-1 lead. And then runners advancing on a wild pitch has scored a run for the Warlocks. They now lead 7-0. I'm sure Lefty Cheese won't hold it. I mean, his stamina isn't that good, and he's not that great of a pitcher, right? Hideki Katsui hit the 2-run homer. The Kings now lead 2-1 over the Reapers. And Ashley Weber has singled home Ricky Henderson, as is the usual for that squad over there. They tie up the ball game against the Pioneers, against the Admirals, 1-1. All right, we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Frogs still holding on to that 7-1 lead. He's a 61 overall, and I disagree. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. He struck out 14 batters through 7 innings. Lefty Cheese is having a phenomenal ball game. Ichiro Suzuki Jr. is also having a good day for the Frogs. He has gotten his, 3rd hit of the ball game, a double this time, scoring in Crittenden, and he's had a few RBIs to his name, and the Frogs now lead 8-1. Marilyn McDonald hit a solo homer for the Admirals. They now lead against the Pioneers 2-1. And the Rockets just cannot figure out how to get anything off of Lefty Cheese. Loan Louis doubles home Suzuki Jr. And Hughes on first hits a 2-run homer. The Frogs now have an 11-1 lead against the Bears. Wow. Okay, then. Another strikeout for Lefty Cheese. Another strikeout for Lefty Cheese. Can he make it 17? No, he'll keep 16 strikeouts through 8 innings of work. I rock this. Do you need to make a decision here about Lefty Cheese for next season? Does he need some boosts? Because he is having a phenomenal outing so far. And this is going to be his 3rd phenomenal outing. I don't know where the strikeouts are coming from. I mean, no duh, he has 108 stuff. He should be having more strikeouts, but man, is he having a good season. Like, the first start was terrible against the Nobles. The last 3 starts, he is an ace pitcher here. Which, he's not the Warlocks' ace pitcher. That's Sandy Koufax. He's pitching better than Sandy Koufax is right now, guys. Ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. All right. Regardless, it's been a good day for Lefty Cheese. It's been a very good day for Lefty Cheese. We'll see if he goes 9 innings. I know, Sandy, who? Who's this, Hall of Fame caliber pitcher who didn't even need a full 20 years career? Finley Finster, on the other hand, only 8 strikeouts, but he's 3rd in Player of the Day. So Irocktas has not only the number 2 batter, or number 2 person of the day, he has the number 3 person of the day. And if Boom Boom McBroom had a good day, he probably could have had him in the top 5 or so. Irocktas, you make very good characters. I don't know what. You have nothing to worry about. You make very good characters. Bradford Smart reaches on an air, scoring in Guile, and Timmy Unger grounds out, scoring in Hebert. And then Elijah Nalau singles home a run. It is now officially 10-0 Warlocks. Finley Finster is going to go for the complete game. Lefty Cheese is going to go for the complete game shutout. I rock this. I don't think you could have planned this any better. I mean, I don't think you could have planned this any better at this point. Oh, a single game record for K's? Okay, hold on. That's a great question, actually. That's actually a really good question. So, single game records. Can I... Pitching K's. So, Lemons for the season is 15. So, this is the new high. Which, that doesn't sound right. Oh, Sunny Day. Nope, 16 from Abinduct was the official new high. Now, is this for every single season, or is that just for this season? Is there a single... Is that literally the single game highest we've ever had? No. You can't possibly tell me that Abinduct did not have a game last year where he had not more than, you know, not less than 16 strikeouts. He had to have had more than that at one point. But regardless, Lefty Cheese has now tied Abinduct, who just recently set the all-time single game strikeout record at 16. And he's looking to break it here. I guess he has not. I rock this. I don't know if those records reset every single season. I'm assuming they don't. In fact, I think they don't, because I thought I saw something from 2025. Yeah. So Johnson had 15 last year. Abinduct's best was 15 last year for the Whistlers. For this season, Abinduct's best is 16, and that was the game he started two starts ago. So we have never seen someone throw more than 16 Ks in a game, and that was just recently done by Abinduct. And now Lefty Cheese is threatening to make it 17. Lefty Cheese and Finley Finster going for complete games, our top 2 games on this list right now. Lefty Cheese going for another strikeout here. And Chico Pappas will double. Isaiah Patterson has hit a 2-run homer for the Armadillos. They have a 2-0 lead against the Mythics. Let us see if Lefty Cheese can get it. No! Barbara Jones has doubled home Chico Pappas. And Lefty Cheese has given up the first run of the ball game against the Rockets. Let's see if they keep Lefty Cheese in. And the answer is no. Ken Griffey Jr. triples against Lefty Cheese, and that will be his ball game. He falls after getting through 8 innings. He cannot get it. And the Rockets are able to score 2 runs as he got tired there. Yep. 16 strikeouts is going to be his limit, it looks like. And Finley Finster is also going to get removed from the ball game. Both pitchers are able to go into the 8th innings, but they cannot finish them. Wally Evans? Wait, what is this now? His knuckles were... Wait, why is that considered a problem? Okay, the Automod is just absolutely not liking some of this stuff. His knuckles were bloody, is what Dukeston said. I don't know what the bot's doing. That's not something that I would have taken away from chat, but okay, sure. I guess it's not considered... I guess it's not couth anymore to say stuff like that, I guess. All right. The Frogs take down the Bears 11-1. Finley Finster goes 8 2/3 of an innings pitched. He gets the number 2 player of the day at the moment. A balk has scored Ken Griffey Jr. And the Rockets have got nobody on and 2 down. Final chance here as Tom Delgado closes out the ball game. And we'll see if they can get anything else. No, the answer is that is going to be it. 10-3 is the final score. Rockets have lost to the Warlocks. We've had some massively good pitching duels and some good pitching performances from some of these squads. We've had some very good offensive performances as well. The Cacti take a 2-0 lead against the Captains on a Rupert Cordwangle 2-run home run. Double steal for the Reapers, and a double has given them a tie ball game. Reapers are now tied to the Kings 3-3. Actually, never mind. They take that back. They now have the lead on Debbie Nagasawa single scoring in Labastra. Is it doing it again? I mean, I do have it refreshing way slower this time around. I'm just trying to make sure that the game itself does not have a problem, because technically the game was freezing up and I didn't like that. Pete Wheeler has given the Admirals a 4-1 lead after a Ty Cobb double scored in Sharif, and Pete Wheeler single scored in Ty Cobb. Chris Moses has given the Mythics a 2-2 tie against the Armadillos on a 2-run homer. Is it just not actually doing it every single 30 seconds? Is that the problem, basically? I'll speed it up and we'll see if that helps. Alrighty, we still have our 4-3 lead for the Reapers in the bottom of the 7th. We've got a 4-1 lead for the Admirals. D. Dempsey has tied up the ball game between the Captains and the Cacti. 2-run homer for D. Dempsey, his 4th of the regular season. Jose Miranda has hit a homer for the Armadillos, and they now are up in that ball game 3-2. The Kings have scored a couple of runs on a Wally Evans single and a Billy McBarron single, and they now lead 6-4. It might be just the way that it's working, unfortunately. That might just be the program not quite doing it in real time in any way, shape, or form. Vicky Kawaguchi and Felix Martinez have given the Kings 3 more runs. They now lead 9-4 against the Reapers, who had just taken that lead back. Danny Boyd gives the Captains a 3-2 lead. Isaiah Patterson races on an air, scoring in Pseudonym. The Armadillos now take a 4-2 lead over the Mythics. It's a 2-run lead over there. And we'll head to the top of the 9th. Final opportunity here for the Reapers. Let's see if they can get something started against the Kings pitching staff. Annie Frazier hits a 2-run homer for the Mythics. They tie up the ball game over there. It's now 4-4. The answer is going to be no. The Reapers fall to the Kings 9-4. The Captains get a 2-run homer from Captain Kegleg. They now lead 5-2 over the Cacti. And Jerry Santillan has hit a solo homer for the Pioneers. My apologies. That is his 2nd home run of the regular season. By the way, that was Pete Wheeler's 7th home run of the regular season. 7. We go to the top of the 9th. Admirals have a 4-2 lead over the Pioneers. We're into the 6th innings across the other 2 ball games, and the Mythics have gotten the lead against the Armadillos. Stats Plus just is not updating correctly. It finally updated the main page, but going into the box score, it's still updated. Oh my gosh. I might have to just disable that, unfortunately, because if it's just not working correctly, then we won't be able to use that, unfortunately. PJ Sharif singles home a run for the Admirals in lead 5-2, and then Rupert Cordwangle singles home 2 runs, and the Cacti now have only a 4-5 deficit against the Captains. We'll see how that goes. The Ducks and Coyotes have started up their ball game. It's now officially 1-0 in favor of the Coyotes on a Mike Trout double play, unfortunately. That did score Bruce Springsteen. And the ball game is over between the Pioneers and the Admirals. Pioneers lose 5-2. Admirals, good win for them right about there. Isaiah Patterson doubles home 2 runs, and the Armadillos now take a 6-5 lead against the Mythics. The Trains and Queens are starting up their ball game. Roland McPoley has given the Trains a 1-0 lead. Jody Weed singles home Annie Frazier, and the Mythics are now tied up once again in that ball game. D. Dempsey has hit his 2nd homer of the ball game. That is number 5 on the season now for D. Dempsey. They now lead 8-4 against the Cacti over there. Top of the 8th between the Armadillos and the Mythics. Still tied 6-6. Top of the 8th between the Captains and the Cacti. It is 8-4 over there in favor of the home squad. Bruce Springsteen hits a solo homer for the Coyotes. They now lead against the Ducks 2-0. That's a Ducks team that has not done very well. Mason Griffiths has doubled home a run after Joel Swoll singled home a run, and Annie Frazier doubles home Griffiths. And the Mythics now have a 9-6 lead, make that 10-6 lead as Sal Cordoba grounds out, scoring in Annie Frazier. The Captains take their win. They beat the Cacti 8-4. Win goes to Weber. Loss goes to Hoskins. The Queens have taken a 2-1 lead on a Bert Handsome 2-run homer. That is Bert Handsome's second homer of the regular season. Chris Jardine gives them another run. And the Mythics close out the ball game against the Armadillos. They defeat the Armadillos 10-6 is the final score over there. All right, some interesting ball games, lots of offense, but also a couple of good pitchers duels across the seasons as well. Honus Wagner has doubled home Felix Grant, and then Evan Screwball singled home 2 runs, and the Queens now lead 6-1 against the Trains. Trains are having some problems, aren't they? Doran Elmer grounds out, scoring in Berrios. D. Fernandez singles home. Biggio and the Ninjas now lead against the Nobles 1-0. Felix Grant hits a 2-run homer. Queens now lead 8-1. A box scores Willie Mays. Ninjas now lead 2-0. And with the bases loaded, Gary Allen scores all of the runs. It's a bases clearing double for the Ninjas. They now lead 5-0. Roman Aday has doubled home Andrew Page. And the Trains get another run. Add another run on a ground out and a wild pitch. It's now 8-4. Make that 8-5. An error, I believe. Scored a run too. 8-5 is the game over there. 6-0 for Ninjas over the Nobles, who have had 3 errors in the ball game so far. That is not a good sign. Tommy Shanks hits a 2-run homer for the Nobles, though. That puts the ball game back within a grand slam distance at least. Bottom of the 8th we go. The Coyotes are beating the Ducks 2-1. Wow. 2-1 is the score over there. We're going to the top of the 9th. Final chance for the Ducks. 1 out. 2 outs. And the Ducks are going to lose a 2-1 game against the Coyotes. That's not normal for the Ducks. Their offense is normally way too good to be put down like that. Woodrow singles home a game. In the Bears and Frogs game, there were 5 hit batters. Finster hit 3. I'll have to double check our variables on that then. Nobles still down 6-3. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Trains are down to their final 3 outs, final 2 outs, final 1 out. Page has the bases loaded for Maria Luna. Maria Luna will single home 2 runs. They're going to intentionally walk Roman Aday. Ooh. Bases are going to be loaded for the Trains now. Let's see if they can do something about it. And the answer is... yes. Oh, man. Roland McPoley singles home Page and Luna. The Trains walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. They score 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th, and they take down the Queens. Elizabeth Cappy can just cannot figure out how to keep games close like that. Wow. That's just sad. That is just sad. Hitty Ball has hit a solo homer for the Ninjas. They now lead 7-3 against the Nobles, who are likewise just starting to show signs of some extreme struggles. 4 errors on the ball game. They're now down 8-3 once again. It's just not going well. Dean Danger hits a homer. There we go. Homer number 5 of the season for Dean Danger. It's now 8-4. But the Nobles cannot win games when they only score 4 runs, and they give up 8. Hitty Ball has hit his 2nd homer of the ball game. 6th on the regular season. It's now 9-4. All right, that game's over. Marina Peck has hit a grand slam for the Ninjas. It's now 13-4. Well, I wasn't expecting the Ninjas to rough up the Nobles tonight. That was not the expectation. We go to the top of the 7th. The Ninjas still holding on to that 13-4 lead against the Nobles. Yeah, this has been a fun day, hasn't it, guys? Lots of interesting results from multiple squads. Double play hit by pitch. Jahibo Dehibbo is able to get another inning of work there and is able to do a good job. Top of the 8th we go. Nobles are unable to get anything. Bottom of the 8th to go. Dehibbo still on the mound here in the bottom of the 8th. Runner on second. Gets a strikeout and a pop out. So Dehibbo having an actually good day. Yes, the Queens finally got the run support they needed, and then the bullpen just had to decide to not show up for the day. 2-run homer for Dante Haversham is all the Nobles will get on top of the other runs in the ball game. They will fall 13-6 against the Ninjas, which means your standings look like this. The Frogs and the Whistlers are the only teams to get to 7 wins. 7 wins for the Frogs and Whistlers, and look who's at the bottom of the standings in the SDL, the Nobles and the Queens. Wow. We expected both of those teams to be semi-strong to decently strong, and they are both on the bottom of the lineup on the standings for the SDL. And look who's at the top. The High Kings. So, we kind of assumed that the people on top of the NAL were going to be good offensive juggernauts. The Frogs are one. The Bats are another. However, the Ducks are failing us. The Coyotes are failing us. And the Goats are failing us. For the Sunny Day League, we did expect a lot of the teams that were going to be doing very well to be good pitching squads. Hence the Pioneers. Technically, the Kings, the Cacti aren't too bad. But then you get teams like the Queens. Teams even somewhat like the Nobles, who should be winning ball games. And they're not doing so well. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why? Lefty Cheese is the highlight of the day. He gets 16 strikeouts for the Warlocks. He's our number 2 player. Sorry, not even our number 3 player of the day. D. Dempsey comes in second. Danny Smith comes in first. Finley Finster comes in third. And Lefty Cheese comes in fourth, I believe, for player of the day. And it was a good day for a lot of those people. And it has been a good season for a lot of them as well. Yeah, D. Dempsey beat both of your starting pitchers out because he had 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored, 3 or 4 performance. I really don't see it, but you know what? It's what happens. It's what happens, unfortunately. But that is going to be our games for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Now we officially only have one person over 500. That is, of course, Jody Weed. Top home run hitter is now Danny Smith with 8 home runs on the regular season. Pete Wheeler has 7. In regards to stolen bases, Alex Murray has 4 stolen bases on the day, gets up to 14 on the regular season. He is still far behind Ty Cobb, who has 17 stolen bases. Ricky Henderson has 15. What even is Wheeler's power? His power is actually 93. He actually has a very good line drive power bat. Pete Wheeler is basically Carlos Gonzalez from the Rockies. That's what he is. He is Carlos Gonzalez. That's literally his entire MO. He hits hard, he runs hard, he plays the outfield hard. That's all he knows how to do. So he's going to drive the ball. He's just gotten into... except better base running. I mean, Cargo wasn't too bad when he was younger, but he did stop stealing when he got older. That's very true. He's not exactly a Ricky Henderson on the base paths. So we'll see what happens with Pete Wheeler. I was not expecting Pete Wheeler to come anywhere close to 20 homers this season. He's on pace for 39. Talking about people who are on pace for stuff, Ty Cobb is on pace for 94 stolen bases. We'll have to do another projection post in the Discord tomorrow. We'll do another projections post so you all can see exactly who is having ridiculously good seasons and who's having not so good seasons. Jody Weed projected to have 88 RBIs by the end of the season. Lefty Cheese is probably not on the strikeouts list because of the fact that they have not had many strikeouts before today. By today's standard, they are now projected to have 171 at the end of the regular season. However, Abinduct is projected to have 275. 275 strikeouts is ridiculous. Ridiculous. For only throwing 194 innings. Evelyn Roomba and Maya Day are the save leaders so far in the regular season. They're both on pace for 22 saves by the end of the regular season. We do have a hitting streak coming in from last year. That was Annie Frazier. She is currently on a 17-game hitting streak as of right now. I don't think that'll last. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, these are your standings. The High Kings hold the lead in the Sunny Day League. That is not to say it's unexpected. They were supposed to be really good. I don't think they were supposed to be this good. However, every single team on the Sunny Day League is within 3 games of first place. Whereas the NAL, it's 5. So take that with a grain of salt. If you're in the Sunny Day League, you're going to be way closer to competitive all the way through the season. If you're in the NAL, it's more likely that you're either in or you're out. There is no middle ground. There's only a couple of teams who are middle ground. That's the Bears, the Armadillos, the Giants, and maybe the Mythics. But that's going to change very quickly. So, rest assured, guys, unless you're the Goats, because the Cluckers looked very impressive, and if they can keep that up, I would not be shocked to see them come back to 500, in all honesty. The Ducks are kind of in the same boat, where it just takes them a couple of good games to get on a roll. I think the Coyotes, having won 2 in a row, is a good sign for them. But the Goats having lost 2 in a row and only being 2-6 is not a good sign. They are now officially, in my opinion, the worst team in the BYP. Unless you consider the Queens that way, because they should have won today. They should be 3-4-1. That's what their record should be, but they are not. So it's just been rough. It's been rough for some teams. Some teams are performing very, very well. The Whistlers and Frogs are having fantastic seasons. The Queens, Nobles, Goats, Cluckers, Ducks especially, they're supposed to be a top-tier team. I'd say the Reapers are struggling more than they should be. The Rockets are coming back to earth at this point. They've lost 2 in a row. It's going to be an interesting season, guys, to see how the rest of it goes. And by the way, by the end of Wednesday, or Friday, I believe, because I think what we'll do on Wednesday is we'll just simulate 2 RTSs, so we'll get up through the next week. When we do that, when we get around to Friday, we will be 25% of the way through the season at the end of Friday. 25% of the way through the regular season already.